What's up, guys? Luke here with Luke's Points and Miles, and today we have another episode of Keep or Cancel. I always preach that every time an annual fee hits to evaluate that card and make sure that it still makes sense for you. When an annual fee hits, we generally have three options. Keep the card and pay the annual fee, cancel the card in lieu of paying, or request some type of product change. A product change is especially beneficial if it is a personal credit card and you want to keep that line of credit open. With some issuers, there will be a no annual fee option. Today, I'm going to do a one-year review on the American Express Business Platinum card. At the end of the review, I'm going to evaluate the card and see if it still makes sense for me, and I'm going to decide whether I will keep the account open. Now, grab yourself a cold one and let's get it. Okay guys, for starters, we need to be clear that this is a business card, so it will not report to our personal credit. I also want to point out that while this card now carries an annual fee of $695, I got the card when the annual fee was only $595, and it came with a 150,000 American Express membership reward point bonus for $15,000 spend. So pretty big numbers, and when we have those big numbers, we need to make sure everything is still good with how we're using the card. Let's start with a quick breakdown of the card, its credits, and how I value them in the present time. We went over the annual fee and the bonus already, so how does this card earn? Well, it's actually a bit tricky. The card earns 5x points on flights and hotels when booked on AmexTravel.com. This is a little confusing because with the personal platinum, you'll get that 5x when booking directly with the airlines. That's not so with the business platinum. The card earns 1.5x on the following categories: construction suppliers, electronic retailers, and software providers. And it also earns 1.5x on purchases over $5,000 anywhere, up to $2 million. The card earns 1 times on everything else. So right off the bat, you can probably figure out this isn't a great card for all of your spending. Now, what kind of credits or coupons does this card come with to help offset that $695 annual fee? That is a monster annual fee for most of us, so these credits will have to be good. $400 credit at Dell. Now, this is $200 in the first half of the year and another $200 in the second half of the year. In true Amex fashion, they make it a little more difficult to use, hoping you'll either not use the entire $200 or at some point you'll forget. I caught myself just spending the credit last year, and I'll be real honest, I bought a couple things that I never even used. I should be able to find products that would be helpful, but by switching almost exclusively to Apple products, this credit does not get me much value. $360 credit for Indeed. This one is broken up to $90 a quarter to give you something else to worry about. And if you don't know, Indeed is a service for businesses looking for potential qualified employees. Neither of my businesses can really use that service, so I value this one at $0. $150 Adobe Solutions credit. Now, there is some debate about this one. This credit is supposed to be for Creative Cloud teams and Acrobat Pro DC. Well, most individuals will not need a team version of these things, making this credit irrelevant for most people. Now, I have heard of folks reporting that the credit worked for regular Adobe purchases, so there is that, but for me, I'll be switching to Apple Final Cut Pro, so I won't use it anyway. I value this credit at $0. $120 wireless credit. This one is $10 a month, and it's very easy to use, and almost anyone can value this at full value, $120. Next up is the $200 airline incidental credit, and in my opinion, this one is easy to get full value from. The only negative is that I have other cards that have the same credit, so that value could become diluted. But I still value this at $200. $189 Clear credit. I haven't been shy about Clear. I think it's a great program, and it's made so many of my days just a little bit easier. Value it however you like. I really like having Clear, and I appreciate the benefit. So those are the credits, and I'm curious how others value them, but for me, I'm probably looking at around $400 in value. I'm assuming I will need some SD cards or something from Dell. So not enough to justify a $695 annual fee just yet. What about the benefits? Well, this card is actually packed with benefits, and I will try to run through them as quickly as possible. The Global Lounge Collection, if you're a fan of the channel, you know I'm a huge fan of airport lounges, and yes, I want access to all of them. However, access to the Amex Centurion lounges, Priority Pass lounges, and even Delta Sky Clubs when flying Delta is something that already comes with the personal Platinum card. So for me, it's an overlapping benefit. Fine Hotels and Resorts is another program that I really like, and I use it every year. But again, I'm already granted access to this program for holding the personal Platinum card. The card also has great travel and purchase protections, and those are priceless if you don't have another card with similar benefits. The card comes with a $100 credit for TSA PreCheck or Global Entry, and that is a great program if you travel a lot. And the card has no foreign transaction fees. This card will also get you status at Marriott and Hilton hotels, as well as some car rental companies. So it's a full service travel card. Now, let's talk briefly about the card's superpower, the 35% airline bonus. Use membership rewards, pay with points for all or part of an eligible flight booked with American Express Travel and get 35% of those points back, up to 1 million points back per calendar year. Eligible flights include first and business class tickets, as well as any fare with your selected qualifying airline booked through American Express Travel. I use this superpower all year long to gain airline status because those flights paid for with MR points do count as paid flights. That strategy has actually not been successful for me. I have gold status with American Airlines, but I have not been able to meet the MQD requirement for status with Delta, and I don't think I will in 2022. This strategy has failed so badly, I don't think I will be using this benefit anymore. I've moved on from seeking airline status, and I decided it would be easier for me to just book the flights I want using transfer partners. I think the value of this superpower is great for some folks, and I think it worked out well for me, but it's not something I will be using moving forward. My travel strategy has changed a bit since my son is in school full-time, and I can't just take off whenever I want. So instead of multiple short domestic trips, I think I'll be doing fewer, longer, and more international trips, and I want to start experiencing other airlines. So who is this card for? I think this card is geared towards folks with a small business that generates a lot of spend and can benefit from the credits. I run 2 small businesses, and the first one is a property management business for my one rental property. So you can probably understand that that is a very small business. And my other business is this YouTube channel, which is obviously also a very small business. So why did I get the card in the first place? The biggest reason was the 150,000 point sign up bonus. I mean, I'm not a proponent of churning cards, but that one is worth trying out just to get that huge bonus. I also really like using the airline bonus, and it was the airline bonus that made me consider the business platinum superior to the personal platinum for a while. However, things change, and when they do, we need to be flexible. I don't use most of the credits or the airline bonus anymore, so it's time to make a decision. For me, this card is no longer net positive, meaning I will not get more value than $695 going into the second year of card ownership, but there is one thing left. The day the annual fee posts on my account, I will contact American Express, and I will be upfront and honest with them, and I'll explain to them that in the next year I will not likely get enough value from the benefits to justify the premium $695 annual fee. I will ask them if there are any retention offers to help make the card make sense for me. Remember, every time an annual fee posts, we need to evaluate the card. Part of that evaluation is if there is any type of retention offer. Now, I've done my evaluation and I have decided what I would need in terms of an offer to consider keeping the card open. I would need at least 30,000 MR points to keep the card open, and I'll explain why. I will use the $120 wireless credit, and I will use the $200 airline incidental credit. I will likely find something at Dell to buy, so I will make that a total of $400 in value on the conservative side. $695 minus $400 still leaves a gap of $295. The absolute bare minimum I will get from 30,000 MR points is $300. So if the offer is 30,000, then I need to consider keeping the card open. If the offer is less, then I will close it. And if there are any type of conditions, such as a spend requirement, then that's something I can make a quick calculation to determine if it's worth it. I don't mind a spend requirement if it's not something ridiculous. The annual fee should actually hit my account any day, and I will update you on what happens. But in the meantime, I'd love to hear some guesses on what the retention offer will be. And I think we should do some type of giveaway to someone with a correct answer. Here's some data points. 1 year with the card, and in that card year, I have spent $31,380. Post in the comments your guess on what the retention offer will be, and I will try to screenshot it, and I will have something for the lucky winner. Also, guys, check out my Instagram if you have time, and this is your friendly reminder that if you're interested in this card or any other American Express cards, I'll leave a link in the description below. Guys, if you have stayed around all the way to the end, I thank you, and I sincerely appreciate you.